Welcome to this Gardner tech stuff video. Today we're going to be doing a quick review of the Zalman Z11. Now, if you've been following my channel for the last couple of months, you will have seen my build in this case, Project Beast, and I've done a lot of videos involving this case, but I thought I'd just wrap it up with a quick review if you haven't already seen those videos. So let's start with the positives. First of all, this has a very good build construction with solid metal side panels, solid metal chassis, and the plastic bits, which you might think might be a bit flimsy, they are very solid too. This is a very lightweight case despite its metal construction. You can easily lift it with one hand, so if you're moving around, taking it to LAN parties and that sort of thing, then you can very easily do that. The airflow in this case is excellent. We have 3 filtered intakes, 1 in the front, 2 in the bottom, one of which is for the power supply, so you can mount that fan down if you wish. And then there are hundreds of fan options. You can put a 120 in the front, you can put a 120 in the bottom, you can put 2 120s in the top, a 120 in the back. In the front you can also have a 140 instead of the 120, and the same with the top 2. You can have 280 exhausts or intakes on the side panels, and then also you have your power supply, which can either be intaking through the bottom or exhausting air from the inside of the case and taking it out the back. It has its unique look with the fins on the top and the big sort of bloated side panels where the 80mm fans go, and then also the extruded window, which adds a lot of rigidity to that side panel. Some people will like the big chunky look, others will prefer simplistic, but if you want something simplistic, then this case really isn't for you. Now, moving on to the things that I don't like about this case. I don't like the tinted plastic look on the side panel window. I wish it was just clear. On the top with the fins, when the computer is off, the fins are sort of a brown colour due to its tinted texture, but I'd rather it was just clear, and then it would look a lot nicer when your computer is off. On the inside, cable management isn't good best because there's no rubber grommets in any of the holes, just plain cutouts, but you get what you pay for. This is a nice cheap case coming in at around £50, so you're not going to get the extras of the rubber grommets. One more positive thing which I forgot to add, it has really nice big rubber feet on the bottom, so A, it's not going to slip around, and B, that raises the case up by a good inch, which will allow lots of airflow through the bottom there. And moving back to the negatives, we have the sort of quick release system on the hard drives, which actually involves you screwing on these 4 rubber sort of discs, which then allow you to slide in and out. This is a massive faff. I'd rather just have it screw in or have a proper quick release sled. I know this is supposed to be vibration reduction. It doesn't really. It still makes just as much vibrations as if it was just screwed in normally, so I don't think that works particularly well. In the back, in the top, if you're putting a 120mm radiator such as an H60, H80 or the other brands, then you have to have a fan against the case before you can put the radiator in, as there's not enough width between the side of the case and the actual I/O shield for a radiator to fit in there, and that means that if you have it mounted like that, you can't then have a 120mm fan in the top. So if you're having your radiator in the back of the case, then you can't have a fan in the top. You can only have it in the mounting, which is further to the front in the top, which is a bit of a design flaw. Talking about the top fans, there's not room for the fans to be mounted between the fins and the top of the case, so that would have been perfect if you could put them there, and then you could put an H100 or even a custom water cooling loop up there. As it stands, you actually have to remove the fins and do something yourself up there to fit it, which is a bit of a shame really, because it would have worked really nicely and have been a good budget case for water cooling. Talking about water cooling, there are the 2 grommets in the back, which are pretty much standard, so that's always nice to see. But with the radiator placement, if you don't want to put it in the back because you want your 2 exhausts in the top, then I have mine mounted with the radiator in the bottom, and if you have it in the bottom, then you can have a push-pull, which is really great because then you can have your fans running a lot quieter, and that's just next to the power supply, and that works really nicely. The actual finish of the case does look really nice when you first get it, but as soon as you touch it, it leaves a fingerprint, which is then really hard to get off, which is a massive shame because those really show up when you have light shining on the case. One other thing which is actually quite cool is in the front on the 5.25 inch bays, there's actually room to mount a fan in there. And the little brackets which come in the front as standard, which you would then remove to put a 5.25 inch device in there, those have slots in them. They line up perfectly for mounting a fan with the fan screw holes. They line up perfectly on those slots, which is really nice because then you can just screw an extra fan in there really easily without too much hassle. So I think that pretty much wraps it up for my review of the Zalman Z11. So in conclusion, this is a really great case if you're just getting used to, building your first computer, or if you're just on a budget and you want something which can look cool. It's got a side panel window so you can see all your awesome hardware, and it's going to be light and portable so you can take it around places. But I wouldn't recommend it if you're not going to be carrying it around, if it's just going to be on your desk and you want to put an expensive system, with water cooling and lots of hard drives, that sort of thing. I would not suggest this case. I would suggest something a lot bigger and more expensive, around the sort of £100 plus mark. So I think that's all I've got to say on this case. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and leave any comments in the comment box down below. Thanks. One last complaint I have about this case is the USB 3. I know that it's great to get USB 3 for this price, but really in this day and age it should come with a motherboard header. Having to have a pass-through really messes up your cable management. It looks ugly. I know you can pay for the adapters. I had one from a Casa and they're about £5 to £10 I think, but really I think that should just be included as standard. It doesn't cost the manufacturer any more to add a motherboard header rather than having two USB 3 normal headers, so that's just not really acceptable, to be honest.